Today we have a new response from Battleborn batteries. In recent times, I found multiple major safety issues with their batteries. And every single time this company denies everything, and they did their own investigation and they said that nothing is wrong. So we're going to go through this entire thing and talk about all the issues in this document and the problems that they missed entirely that are never mentioned in this document. So this was released last week, March 31st, and it's called On the Safety and Design of the Battleborn 100 amp hour positive terminal. So the entire purpose of this paper is to convince people scientifically that their positive terminal has a thermal failsafe built in, and if the battery is abused, it will disconnect current. But unfortunately, in the real world, this does not work. And that's why people have overheating terminals. You can see the epoxy change color because it's getting so hot. It is not working. So we're going to read through different parts of this paper and talk about what they're claiming here. They say that the terminal design is deliberate. It is based on well understood principles of material science, electrical contact physics, and thermal behavior combined to create a passive, irreversible shutdown mechanism that activates under sustained thermal fault conditions. This function serves as a last resort protective feature designed to stop current flow before a thermal event can propagate to the cells. Then why are people having overheating terminals in melted cases? If it was stopping current, that would not be possible. An irreversible shutdown is not true. It randomly disconnects because it's a loose connection. This behavior has been validated through third-party certification testing, which guess what? Most cheap batteries can pass nowadays. It's not special. Internal development and verification, and more than a decade of field performance across hundreds of thousands of batteries. Across all of these conditions, the outcome is consistent. When installed and used correctly, the system operates normally and efficiently. I don't think I need a fuse or a breaker to act efficiently. That's kind of strange. Anyways, that is false. These are not disconnecting current. And the field performance of these batteries in the real world is horrible. People are reporting that the majority of their packs have this issue. Usually when I test batteries and they have short circuit protection, they shut down and they stay shut down. I have the data files showing that yours don't. Then they describe how the brass and the copper are held together with a piece of plastic, and then there's a bolt going through it. So when the plastic melts, if the battery is abused, it will create a loose connection with the bolt, and then oxides are supposed to form on the surface, and that's insulative, and that's supposed to be the thermal disconnect. And then they have a graph of the creep limit of the ABS in that plastic sandwich. They say that it should be fine for many years. They say that under a fault condition, such as a loose external connection or undersized cable generating sustained heat at the terminal, hilarious, the temperature climbs towards 85 degrees Celsius. This does not happen instantly. The thermal mass of the assembly absorbs heat gradually. At the maximum rated current of 100 amps in an undersized cable, it could still take on the order of tens of minutes or more for the terminal in the joint to reach the trigger temperature. The protection is proportionate. A brief overload does not trip the terminal. A sustained fault that genuinely threatens the cells does. When the plastic softens and contact pressure at the metal interface falls to near zero, aluminum's most important electrical property takes over. Aluminum oxidizes. The instant a fresh aluminum surface is exposed to air, it begins forming an aluminum oxide, one of the hardest and most electrically insulating materials in nature. Then why are people having overheating terminals? If this is supposed to stop current, then why is current flowing? It is getting so hot that it's changing the color of the epoxy. That is ridiculous. This is not disconnecting current. Now here's the kicker. This is not the issue. This is one of the issues, and this can cause the terminal to overheat. But what I found to cause the melting and overheating is the entire bus bar. The entire thing melts, and it causes loose connections everywhere. With the nickel sheet and the copper, the more it melts, the more it warps, and the less surface area for connection. Take a look at this photo. This is from the negative bus bar. This is not from the positive terminal. Tell me what you see. Do you see the loose connections causing all this heat? And multiple times through this paper, they say, oh, it's protecting the cells. A sustained fault. We need to protect the cells. Then why are my cells having insulation that's warped because they're being damaged? They change color because they're getting overheated because your failsafe is not working. Next, all the connections on the negative bus bar are loose from the factory. You can wiggle them. You guys know this. This is a problem. Now, this issue on the negative bus bar is also present on the entire positive bus bar. And the majority of these bolts are not aluminum. This whole paper is pretty much useless because they're missing the problem. And then they continue to double down on it. It's ridiculous. Within seconds, the terminal rapidly transitions to a high resistance state sufficient to collapse current flow. Blah, blah, blah. The pack shuts down. The battery is safe. Then why are the terminals overheating? It's not disconnecting. The intent of this design is that nothing in the terminal moves to achieve this. No spring activates, no fuse element melts, no electronic circuit intervenes. Why not use a fuse? It's solid state and it works. Also, even if this did work, who would buy it? This protection is permanent and irreversible, so what are you supposed to do with your battery? Just throw it in the trash? But that doesn't happen either. It still allows current to flow, and you'll get constant disconnects. And I've graphed them out. I've graphed out like 23,000 with my machine. And once that terminal overheats, it melts everything, especially the cells in the BMS. Check out my older videos. Those things were cooked. Now the next section is lid removal invalidates interrupt testing. They're saying that because I took the lid off, it invalidates all my tests because that oxide layer is being shifted around and it has to short again to create a new oxide layer. But guess what? It was overheating before I took the lid off. That's the issue. I was showing the issue when I opened up the lid, but the issue was there before. And here's a picture of that. If this thermal failsafe is permanent and irreversible, why is current still flowing and multiple people have overheating terminals? It does not work, whether the lid is on or off. And the positive terminal isn't the big issue. It's the negative terminal. Look at this thing. This is horrible. This is not what you want to see in a battery. And this occurred when I was using the battery as advertised. This whole paper talks about when the battery is abused. I did not abuse the battery. And I was getting disconnects from a loose connection after the 3rd cycle. And then I had a complete meltdown at the 30th cycle. And I used it as advertised. And the negative bus bar failed before the positive terminal did. So there is a major issue here. Moving on to the next section, direct observation of the interrupt condition. First, we performed the test with 3 new batteries, purposefully undersizing the cables to create heat at the terminals. Running a continuous 100 amps current through the undersized cable generated a peak temperature of 121 degrees Celsius at the terminal, high enough to trigger the interrupt mechanism. But what size is this undersized cable? They never even tell us. And then they show a disconnect. This is common with your batteries. I have these all the time, and I've already graphed out 23,000 of them. I actually got to 3 cycles without an interrupt, but after that, I got an interrupt. Even with less current, I got a disconnect after 10 cycles, and I have all the proof and you can download it yourself. And then they say that none of the 3 batteries were able to deliver meaningful power after the test, confirming that the interrupt mechanism is irreversible under the conditions tested. Let's see it. I want to see you connect this to a cycle machine and prove it. Because I had lots of these disconnects all the time, and guess what? You can still allow current to flow. It's a loose connection, and a lot of people can press the terminal and it starts working again. That's not acceptable. A fuse should not be able to reset by moving it around a little bit. Think about a high vibration environment. All those oxides forming and then it moving around and you're depending on that to insulate and stop current flow. That's just ridiculous. That's not to be relied upon. And what's so funny is in the picture, the bolt next to it, the plastic is melting as well. This is not the aluminum bolt. And that's holding the connection on the other side where the bigger problem exists on the negative bus bar. On this page, they say that you should use 1/aught cable. Who is using 1/aught cable for 100 amps? If you're using copper, you can use 2-gauge wire for 100 amps continuous. Using that size of a cable for continuous operation will lower the temperature of the terminal. Where is that ever mentioned in your data sheet, ever? And guess what? My terminal never overheated when the negative bus bar melted. I never had this happen, but the whole battery melted. That's the problem, you guys. You don't get it. Something else I just realized about a week ago is that when this plastic melts, the nickel sheet and the copper bus bar are not flush and flat, and there's loose connections in there as well. Again, never mentioned at all here. This is never mentioned. Then they go on and on saying it's super safe, the science is not speculative, every mechanism involved, everything here works how it's supposed to. The YouTube videos, mine, that prompted this technical note do not show a dangerous terminal. They show a correctly designed terminal operating under an incorrect boundary condition, one created by removing the lid that is in This stuff was happening without the lid removed. The whole side of the case was melted and it wasn't even the positive terminal. Why don't they just put a fuse in here and get rid of all these plastic connections? The negative bus bar is worse. It is worse, and you guys don't even mention it in here. Now, what drives me crazy is this UL 2054. It is not hard for a battery to pass this test. I would actually be impressed if they had 48-volt batteries that passed 9540, but they have zero. They don't even have 48-volt batteries. They have balance issues when you connect these ones in series for 48 volts. Why don't they make a 48-volt battery? Another problem they're not mentioning is in the 270 amp hour pack, it has no mechanical connection from the BMS to the cell packs below. And when it overheats, the cells vent. And I had one vent. And I've had other people have theirs vent as well. And those are explosive gases that are venting. If you contain them and have an ignition source, you can have what's called a deflagration event. And I hear no one talking about that. The company doesn't even respond to that. And that's the most dangerous one of them all. Also with the Game Changer, I have never tested that one, but I have pictures of those things melted as well. Lots of people are coming forward and they have issues with these batteries. All of this is a waste of our time. You guys are not talking about the real issues here. And this doesn't work. I've already shown it. Now, Battleborn batteries, the CEO, I texted, I tried calling, I sent him the photos that I shared in this video. I told him, you have a real problem here, and I can prove it. And all I've gotten was crickets and denial, and the other YouTubers connected to this company are giving me problems as well, too. A few days ago, Mortons on the Move, which has a little travel YouTube channel, said that I had a contract with Battleborn, and that Battleborn dropped it. And then I immediately started spraying lies about unsafe design. What's strange is there's no contract. I don't have agreements, I don't hold their stock, nothing. The only thing I got was 4 free batteries from them, and I donated all of them. And all of those failed as well. Those ones failed. And I didn't know. The person I donated it to didn't tell me until all this stuff surfaced. Saying I have a contract with them is a lie. That is not true. But why would he lie? Why? What does he get out of this? And if he's an engineer, how can he not figure out these issues? He's not even mentioning the negative bus bar or anything else, just like Battleborn. It's like they're connected or something. And what is this contract? Show me the contract. I want to see. You know what? He emailed me back. Guess what he said? And this is the only response. I emailed him, called him, and everything. And he said, we removed the comment. It was written too quickly and included speculation we chose not to stand by. We do, however, stand by our disagreement with your conclusions. Is he disagreeing with the data that I made public? Is he disagreeing with what I zoomed in on with my camera? Like, what are you disagreeing with? And his comment supposedly included speculation. That's lying. That's not okay. Show me where I'm wrong. Show me a battery on camera and disprove me. But all I get is just endless excuses and lies. This is just crazy. Some people are getting disconnects and lower capacity on 5 out of 6 of their batteries. That's nuts. After testing these and melting them and having one vent, I would never cycle these anywhere, in a vehicle, in a house. These are not safe to use. We investigated ourselves and we found nothing wrong, just like the government. The rest of the paper is just more of this garbage. And the last sentence is the battery is safe. Now right here with the warranty process, check out the comments in my videos and check out how many people have these batteries and have warranty claims denied. Ask the distributors, especially the distributors that are no longer distributors. They have nightmare stories with this company. Everyone's scared of this company. They email me and they say, don't tell anybody. I had a horrible time with this company. And then they say approximately 0.2% of units in the field have exhibited elevated resistance at the positive terminal. But how would they know? Even if it disconnects disconnects, there's still voltage present and current can still flow. In my battery that I melted, the terminal was not overheating, but the whole battery melted on the side. And even if it does disconnect, how would you know? You're gonna have half of your batteries disconnecting without any visible sign? Even if this did work, it's the worst thing ever. And then what, you just throw the battery in the trash? I don't get it. And a lot of people think their batteries are fine. So I tell them, take your battery apart and test them individually. That's how you're gonna find issues. Also, I don't trust these statistics. I've seen people with warranty claims denied. I don't think they're telling us the whole story. What about the YouTuber recently that said 5 out of 6 of his batteries were having issues? What about that? Or look at the comments of my videos. They're endless. There are so many stories, it's crazy. Also, I keep getting conspiracies about my intentions. This channel is made to test and review equipment and find their problems. And when the positive terminal was overheating, I didn't even believe my forum members because no one had evidence. It wasn't until a forum member sent me a battery and I burned my finger on the terminal until I actually believed them. And then I was like, whoa, this is a problem. This thing is freaking hot. And then I heard all these excuses about how these batteries are being abused, loose terminals, improper size cables. So guess what? I tested it myself with a brand new battery that I spent my own money on. And I found a bigger problem. And then I found more problems and I did it again. So yes, this is a huge issue and they're not owning up to it at all. If you have these batteries, they are a safety issue. Get them out of your house, get them out of your RV. Replace it with something that's actually nice. And there's lots of batteries that work well today. You don't need to use these overpriced batteries with problems. I get sick thinking about this. I've wasted so much of my time testing this. And this is the response we get, man. It's not cool. Anyways, if you have any more stories down below, if you have pictures of your Battleborn failures, post it on the forum for all to see. I would love to hear your stories. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.